You are listening to Viewpoints from PlaceCloud. Cultural researchers tell stories of places from around the world. For the full multimedia experience and to support the creators you enjoy, visit placecloud.io.
From December of 1966 through the end of 1967, there was no hotter spot in East London than Billy Walker's Uppercut Club in Forest Gate. Walker was a popular boxer and the public face of an ownership conglomerate for the club that included his brother George and several local businessmen, some of whom had ties to East London's gangland underground. Walker's celebrity status allowed his nightclub to open with a bang instead of the often arduous early process of booking smaller acts in the hope that a venue might earn a reputation. The Who christened the stage of the Uppercut Club on its opening night in December 1966 at the tail end of their My Generation tour. The night featured a signature Who performance complete with smashed guitars on stage, and the club was packed full of teenagers and celebrities, including England and West Ham United football legend Bobby Moore. A few nights later, Jimi Hendrix debuted Purple Haze at the club, a song he allegedly wrote right before coming onto the stage. The Uppercut Club was immediately one of the most discussed places in East London. During its brief existence, updates and debates about the club remained the hottest of topics in the local newspaper, the Stratford Express. The weekly paper featured stories and letters related to all things about the club, with writers ranging from an anonymous writer called Agitarius, complaining about parking and noise, to Lynn Fisher, a 14-year-old Manor House resident, telling the older neighbors to, quote, stop to think what they're doing towards the younger generation. Without the club, she argued, these people would be the first up in arms if they found teenagers roaming the streets, tampering with cars, breaking windows, and generally making real nuisances of themselves. But, Fisher argued, now that there is somewhere for them to go and enjoy themselves, these residents are complaining of the noise, nuisance, and parking difficulties. The club's significance extended beyond just community licensing complaints and complaints of parking in front of the post office, though. It acted as a contact zone, in which the venue staged performances where African American musicians showcased their talents in the United Kingdom. In the year that the club's doors were open to the public, it hosted Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone, and most prominently, Otis Redding. Archival footage in a BBC documentary about Redding's tours in the United Kingdom demonstrate how Redding's shows were popular venues for white and black youth in Britain to mix in a single venue. They did so with just the shared goal of having fun. Even as it encouraged cultural contact between audiences and musicians, the Uppercut Club did not specifically reach out to the black youth in the East End through their marketing campaigns. It brought in big-name African-American artists, but it didn't exactly serve as a place for black British artists to showcase their own talents. Instead, black people, artists and punchers alike, found themselves coming into a primarily white space where black talent was showcased but not always celebrated. Regardless of how much members of the two groups interacted on an individual basis, coolness was, as sociologist Dick Hebdige argued at the time, being driven by blackness in this venue. The club was more of a space for encounter than a space for close interaction, but it was also a space where white and black young people could find themselves in close physical proximity, which wasn't always the case in social venues at the time. The Uppercut Club's atmosphere represented a unique oasis in a part of London that was largely home to working-class white and black people. The pockets where non-white migrants had settled were still sites of consistent racial terror and violence. Outside of the Uppercut Club, Forest Gate was still a tense ground for racial relationships. Even though the club attracted white and black audiences, in October of 1967, the bus stop on Romford Road, just outside the Uppercut Club, had a number of gang fighting incidents between black and white young people. The contested territory outside of the club also showed some of the early limits on consumption-led multiculturalism in a region where significant portions of the population experienced extreme poverty. If money was tight, consumption-driven multiculture was inherently limited. The Uppercut Club was also short-lived, and it's unclear how it would have developed as Forest Gate and East London changed over the coming years. It closed its doors at the end of 1967, and young people moved on to the next big thing.